Hello everyone, and welcome to my reaction to episode 2 of Chainsaw Man. So last week, no copyright issues, so looks good. I will probably be continuing to react to the series for YouTube. Continue posting reaction highlights. So thank you so much for everyone, or to everyone for tuning in last week and giving the video a thumbs up and posting a comment. I really appreciate those. I really like hearing your thoughts on the episode. I obviously really enjoyed the last episode. It was one of the best, episode ones of a show that I've seen. So I'm really looking forward to seeing more. One thing that I did want to briefly address was that I heard or saw on Twitter and maybe in the comments, I don't remember where I read this, but apparently they changed the translation at the end of the episode, and specifically with regards to something the girl said, and it definitely changes the tone. So I assume they changed it to give you a kind of feeling, like a good feeling, like I had at the end of the episode, like a sense of relief. But actually it's kind of more, it might be a little bit more, not sinister, but more than I initially thought. So I just read the translation, the correct translation, and yeah, it definitely gives you a different feel when you think about that scene and that girl specifically. And then I did see some things people said about the girl, which kind of, I'm not sure, that doesn't really have to do anything with the translation. I think it's more spoiler territory, but I will talk about that at the end of the episode, at the end of the reaction. Let's jump into the reaction. I hope you'll enjoy it. Let's go. There it is. See, I think that's why they ended it the way they ended it. They wanted all of us to get the idea of how he felt when he first met her. Oh, I kind of liked her. Oh shit, she's treating him like a dog. You know? I really like that opening. Get that man a hamburger. Udon. Eat. There are over 1,000 devil hunters in Tokyo, including civilians, but public safety has the best benefits and a lot of paid vacation time. Very realistic. Oh, and suddenly he's there. The pacing in this episode, I don't know if I noticed it last time or I was like overwhelmed with all the new stuff and everything. But this time it feels like it's pretty fast paced, but it doesn't feel like too fast paced. It's just like, whoa, here we are. And now there's this happening and they're feeling this and they're talking about this. And now he's there. Aki Hayakawa.
マキマさんと一緒に仕事すんじゃないんすか。そんなわけないだろ。お前とマキマさんとでは格が違う。見回り行くぞ。やだマキマさん。マキマさんって男いんの？
That is so. A lot of the translations, I can understand why it might bother people because he's just saying, and correct me if I'm wrong, if there's like something, a tone or what that maybe it's his tone, but like, hey, big man. Like, that sounds so, hey, big man. Like, that sounds so derogatory or sarcastic. Whereas he's just saying senpai, like, hey, senpai. Like, that's what they're supposed to say. But if you say this in English, I feel like it comes across as sarcastic. He says senpai, so maybe it's like to convey, maybe he is saying it with a little bit of attitude. Let me know. I find stuff like that pretty interesting. Phew. Why?
軽い気持ちで仕事するやつは死ぬぜ。俺の同僚も給料だけ見てデビルハンターになったやつは全員悪魔に殺されたよ。生きてるやつはみんな根っこに信念があるやつだけだ。お前さ、マキマさん目当てでデビルハンターになったらピンポーン。じゃあ殴って正解だったな。
Oh, right where it hurts. Oh, he's not having kids one day. Oh, but that is true. It is true. When you fight a guy, at least that's what I learned. If you wanted to stand any chance. Not devil. I have an idea, like, that I thought of after people told me about the translation at the end of the last episode, which kind of made it clear that she thinks of him as a dog. Which I'm not sure if it's like a haha, just a funny personality thing, or if she literally thinks of him as a dog. So please don't spoil anything. That's still up for debate. Like, you know how some people have kinks and they're like, some girls act all ooh, and that's awesome and cute, and like maybe she's like, she likes the powerful position, so she acts the opposite of ooh, which is like she makes the guy, maybe she's like an S and she expects him to be like the M. I don't know. But I'm not being literal here. I'm just trying to give an idea. Like, it might be just I'm not sure if it's a literal thing yet. Okay, so that's up for debate. Don't spoil me. But the last time when people kind of told me about the translation and stuff, and I started thinking, is this... I forgot where I was going with this. What was I thinking? Something about if she does think of him... Nope, I forgot where I was going with this. Oh, I was thinking a heavy theme in this could be about freedom, whether it's like, is it worth, because the first thing you think, even if she is like that, even if he does have his freedom taken away, the first thing in your mind is like, well, at least in my mind was like, oh, at least it's better than how he was living. But is it? Or by how much? Should he just settle for this? Do you understand? Those are the kind of questions that come up after the first thing, where you think, well, at least it's better than he was. And it is, because he has food now and the place to sleep, but he's also lost his best friend, and now he's still not free. So like, even if it's better than how he was, should he be satisfied? Should we be satisfied with this for him? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I think these are maybe potential themes of the story.
最強のパンができちまったぜ。あー、うん、うまー、最強だぜ。わおわおわおわおわおわおわおわお。風呂長いんだよ。
魔人の人格は悪魔だ。今回はお前が殺せ。悪魔になって力を見せてみろ。それで使えるもんかどうか判断せ。殺すだ殺すだ殺すだ、デビルハンターどもが。おい、なんで悪魔の力使う？
He didn't need them.
まあ、俺の力使ってで悪魔を殺すとよ、すっげえ痛そうなんだ。
お前は悪魔と仲良しにでもなりたい。
Dude, he killed it without hesitating, and he did it quickly and efficiently. If he had turned into a devil, he would have ripped his clothes up, and then how much is that shirt and that tie and those pants? How much is that going to cost your organization that is probably being run by taxpayer dollars? Like, this is a better way to do it.
友達になれる悪魔がいたらなりてえ。俺友達いねえもん。よし、エッチ確認。
デーモンの夢を私に見せてくれ。
俺もマジでやってるぜ。落ちた。契約通り夢みてえないい生活してるもんな。マキマさんも。胸揉んでみて。胸なら強い意志と行動力がありゃ揉めるんじゃ。
お前以外全員本気なんだよ。
そういうことだったのか。見つけたぜ。俺の本気。俺のゴール。それは胸だ。
胸だ。
おい、話聞けバカ。
今日からバディを組んでもらう。
Buddy.
バディ。
今日からバディ。
Body.
バディ。
小規模任務とかパトロールは安全な。
Yay! I'm so excited for her. I remember her from the trailer. I posted a picture of her on my Instagram. She is a character that stood out the most to me from the moment that I watched the first trailer. So I can't wait to find out what she's like, and do I still like her?
気をつけてね。彼女は魔人だから。
Majin?
おうおう、ひげ伏せ人間、わしの名はパワー。バディとやらはうぬか。
パワー？名前パワー？つうか魔人なの？魔人がデビルハンターなんてやってもいいのか？まあいいか。よろしくな。
パワーちゃんは頭の角が目立つから、人通りの少ない場所だけパトロールすること。人間、早くなんか殺させろ。わしは血に飢えてるぞ。
Ningen.
ある程度の理不尽なら辛いよけりゃ許せる。問題はどうやって胸を打つか。
Oops. Is she like, by anime standards, not maybe in this world literally with her particular situation, But by anime standards, would she be considered kind of like a Chunibu? Because that's the energy I'm getting. 人間。
もし民間のデビルハンターにあったり、
パワーと組ませて俺を活躍させないようにして俺をやめさせる気なんだ。させないようにして俺をやめさせる気なんだ。
血の匂いじゃ。
Whoa, like her voice acting. Whoa, whoa. I love her. I love her. She's so funny. I wanted to say that in the first half of the episode, the pacing did feel fast, but not too fast, just fast. But then in the second half, it was more normal, like, super good episode. I enjoyed it a lot. And just the brief points that I wanted to make that I didn't already touch on. Well, one brief point. Hayakawa, I think was his name. He and Denji didn't get off on the best foot, obviously. And his actions are a bit... like they're a bit abrasive, rubbing me the wrong way. But that doesn't mean I don't like him. I do like him living the kind of life that they live. Fighting literal devils, having lost his family. I mean, seeing them killed in front of him. That, up to this point, justifies his actions. Even beating up Denji, because it's like, that's all he knows, is like a lot of violence. And I mean Denji too. And this is the life that they're living. So my point is just, getting a little bit roughed up. And Denji got his vengeance. So at this point, he hasn't done anything that is wrong, based on the circumstances. And yeah, even though they got off on the wrong foot maybe, and they have this, actually that's fine, a fine way to say that. And yeah, I'm not a big fan of how he goes about things at the moment. But I mean, it's episode 2. And it's a good introduction, and it's an entertaining dynamic at the same time. And once again, we know at least a little bit about what he's been through and the kind of life he must lead at this point. So still like him a lot. But I like Denji the most, and I really like this girl Power. She's awesome. But at the moment, we don't know anything about her personality, and she's a literal demon. So I'm just talking about it from an entertainment perspective. She's super entertaining, so really like her character at the moment. And then Makima is like, I like her as well, but like I said, I don't know yet the depths to this whole dog thing. But it looks like, based on what she's saying about the higher ups wanting to dissolve their team, and she might be kind of sticking her neck out for them, right? So she seems to be so far like a relatively good person that goes about expressing it in a weird way. But yeah, I really like the episode a lot. I'll give it a score in a minute. I just also briefly wanted to address something. Maybe 2 things. The first thing was that I heard some feminists in Japan specifically don't like this show or Denji's character because of, I guess, I want the boobs and but I think it is realistic, relatable, and hilarious, because it's not like he's taking advantage of women to touch their boobs. He's setting a goal, like he wants to get to a point where a girl would let him touch her boobs. That there's nothing wrong with that. And I mean, you're lying if you're saying like girls don't think the exact same way. Hooking up with guys, like, finding guys attractive, wanting to do stuff with guys. Like, girls are the same. Maybe not to such an extent, because girls more often than not also have a heavy romance aspect to it. But maybe it doesn't mean that guys only want sex. It's about intimacy, and the sex and touching boobs is intimate. So it's just girls want the build up too. Girls want to be wooed and romance to that point, but guys are more simple. They just want to get to the point. But at the end of the day, both people, girls and boys, they have the same end goal. So at this point, I don't think that there's anything that feminists should be mad about. So yeah, that's one thing I wanted to address. And then there's the other thing that people were like, because last time I said something like he should get the sugar mommy or something, and I was making a stupid joke before I really, you know, took in how it is happening. But yeah, and then some people commented and said things like, yeah, it's guys that are always taking care of girls, or girls are the ones that are always gold diggers, or girls are the ones chasing after money. And I'm like, it's very annoying, because it feels like the way that they're saying it, it comes from a place of very bitterness. Probably these guys would love to take care of a girl if they could and if she'd let them. And I'm not taking like, do everything I say and buy me this and buy. I'm talking about, I don't know, but it's almost, I wouldn't say natural, but like guys are generally, it's too difficult a topic to speak of briefly. But okay, let me say, I'm aware that it is very often that guys take care of girls. Like my parents, for example, my dad was the provider, and like, but I mean, my mom's sister is, she takes care of her husband and he does the work and stuff, like, so it's kind of, I know that one side it might happen more often, but it does happen both ways. And a lot of women stay with deadbeat guys because they think they can change them and they love taking care of someone. And so yeah, if you're coming from a place of bitterness, saying that yeah, girls are gold diggers and stuff, like, maybe the problem is with you. I'm not saying there aren't horrible women that also, you know, go after guys just for their money, but it doesn't happen as often, I think, as you'd think. Or if it does, it happens both ways. But I can acknowledge that it might happen more from one to the next, but that is just because of, I don't know if it's biology, I don't know if it's history, but guys like taking care of girls. My dad loves being a provider. That is, his whole life is built around taking care of my mom and me. And it has made me like the kind of person that at this point in my life can acknowledge that and can appreciate that and can, you know, thank him for it. But I mean, I worked really hard to buy my house. It's not like I expected anyone else to do that. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm just, but I can acknowledge, okay, wait. Bottom line, I can acknowledge that it might happen more often from one way to the other, guys taking care of girls. But that is like, because I personally believe that guys like that. And the many women like being taken care of. But that doesn't mean that they're gold diggers. Like, my mom is not a gold digger. Like, she was with my dad from when he had nothing. It's just that she feels like she has a different role. Doesn't mean she's like super traditional wife or anything, but yeah. But I don't know, the comments that people were making, just not everyone, but some people, they were just seeming like they came from a really bitter place. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if something happened to you, but not all women are like that. Like, if saying all women are gold diggers, like saying men are cheaters. I don't know. It's like, yeah, it might happen more often one way to the other. But anyway, it's a stupid conversation that really, it's not a stupid conversation. It's an interesting conversation, but it's like, it's not something that I think is necessary to talk about or to bring into this context. Like, we don't have to, you know, that's the kind of topic that I would make a 1 hour deep dive discussion. But yeah, we're talking about anime here, and in this show, at this point, I don't think that is. It was just based on a stupid comment I made, a stupid joke I made in episode 1. Okay. Last but not least, some people last week made comments. Some people last week also made comments like Denji's just a simp and blah blah blah. And I consider those spoiler because there's nothing in episode 1 that hinted to the fact that he's a simp, or that you should call him a simp, or that I can understand from this episode why some people would say something stupid like that. Because, you know, even if she doesn't treat him that great, we're not 100% sure about the intention yet. I'm not, but I can understand where the word comes from because he simps after her like a dog. But in episode 1, there was nothing. It was spoiler. You were commenting that because you were a manga reader and you know what happens later. So if you do comment stuff like that, hinting at future episodes, you will get blocked. It's very unfortunate when you say something stupid and you get blocked for it. And like, it frustrates me because at least you commented and I appreciate comments. But don't comment spoilers. Don't be dumb. Okay, so yeah, that's about all I think I wanted to address. And once again, I hate that I had to bring up that stupid discussion from last week based on a stupid joke that I regret making in the first place. But yeah, some people were responding in such a bitter way. It really made me feel like you need to see a therapist and deal with these emotions, because if this is how you think about women, you're not going to get one, because you're going to attract the worst kind. And that's just going to end up proving you right. Like, have you ever heard of confirmation bias? I think that's the right word. Confirmation bias. You believe something in your head, and so you look at the world from that perspective, and then you only notice the stuff that reaffirms what you believe, and then, you know, the universe will just give you more of that. So I'm just warning you. If you don't want that, stop being so bitter. Okay. Episode 2. Last time it was like a perfect 10 as an introduction episode. I couldn't really flaw it in any way. This week I will be a little bit more, I'll try and be a little bit more, you know, objective. I'm going to say story 9, characters 9.5, visuals 9.4, audio 9.5, and the enjoyment 9.5. So it's an overall 9.4. A really great episode 2, introducing all the characters and like getting to see the interactions and getting to learn more about them and posing all these different kind of questions. Everything about the show is entertaining, from the opening song to the interactions to the visuals, sound effects when he kicked his balls, like that was hilarious. The comedy is very well integrated. Pacing is good. Power as a character is hilarious, and yeah, subtly building on some themes. For an episode 2, I think it was very successful, very good. And yeah, I'll see you guys next week for episode 3. Please let me know your score in the comments if you want, and what you liked about the episode or what you didn't like as much. No spoilers. Bye.